Hey, what's up, guys? Dan the Movie Man here, and today I'm reviewing Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin just came out in theaters this last weekend, and I had a chance to go see it Thursday night. And let's do a little rundown of what Christopher Robin is about before I give my review. Basically, it's the story of Christopher Robin, the little boy from the Winnie the Pooh stories, and he has to leave Pooh and the rest of his friends behind. He has to go to boarding school. And so he leaves, he grows up, he enters the war, he comes home, he falls in love, he gets married, he has a kid, and he slowly, over his life, starts to forget about Pooh and his friends. Well, one day Pooh wakes up and can't find anybody, and he walks through the tree to Christopher Robin's house, and he ends up in London, and he encounters Christopher Robin once again, and the adventure goes from there. This movie was really fun. I hear a lot of people just bagging on this movie. Oh, it's formulaic. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's just Hook, and it is basically Hook, but it's a lot different than just Hook. It's it's got the same message, I would say. It's got the same morals about don't lose yourself when you grow up. Don't let adulthood consume you, and don't be a deadbeat dad. I mean, that's of course the theme, but it's very much more fun and lighthearted. People are just ragging on this movie. Some people, the majority I've heard have liked it, but it's just it's not meant to be too deep or too meaningful. It's just a fun movie to go take the family to see, and it's very fun and endearing and joyful. I mean, that's the word that comes to mind when I think of this movie is joy. I sat in the theater and I watched it, and I just smiled and I laughed, and it was fun, and I had so much joy. You can't walk out of that theater after seeing Christopher Robin not smiling. It's just, especially if you grew up with Winnie the Pooh. If you grew up watching Winnie the Pooh or reading Winnie the Pooh, it's very fun and endearing, even more so. This movie, Ewan McGregor, let's talk about him, does a fantastic job as Christopher Robin. He's very cut off from his family and very work oriented, and he's kind of lost what made him the boy from the stories. And he's got these issues with his family, and he's just he goes on this adventure with Pooh and with the others, and he starts to become that boy again. You know, there's a sequence in the movie where I don't want to spoil too much, but he fights a Huffalo, and it's very fun and endearing. And that's the moment when everyone realizes, oh my gosh, that's Christopher Robin. Pooh recognized Christopher Robin because of his eyes. He recognized who he was, which is a very sweet moment. Um, but it's very much about him, this boy who turned into this man who's become very distant, and he ends up finding who he was again, and it's very nice. And Ewan McGregor plays it great. I think he was a great choice for Christopher Robin. Um, he's very, you know, Ewan McGregor's just a great actor. He can go from charming and endearing to snapping and very aggravating character-wise. Of course, you had Haley Atwell, who played his wife, and that's one gripe about this movie is I thought that they could have used Haley Atwell a little bit more, because Haley Atwell is a fantastic actress, and she really could have done more in this role. Maybe just show her a little more, because she's got main billing. She's in the movie. I'd say 25, maybe 30 minutes, but they really could have used her a lot more. I understand that the focus is on Christopher Robin, but you could have showed a little more of her and a little more of his daughter, because his daughter, kind of comes out of left field as a big part of the story at the end. Because during it, yeah, she has some very important parts, but she's not really prominent until the last act. And that's another big thing. A lot of the characters from the classic Winnie the Pooh you don't get to see too much of. I mean, you see Pooh a lot, and you get a good chunk of time with Tigger, Eeyore, and Piglet, but everyone else, Al, Roo, I mean, they don't get that much time. And they even say, like, at the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh, where you guys been?" Like, it's like, I understand that's a lot of characters to juggle, but you got to find a way to do it. Those are classic characters, and leaving out people like that, there's going to be both kids and adults who are like, well, that was my favorite character. Why aren't they but in like 5 minutes of the movie? Um, Personally, for me, Eeyore's always been my favorite growing up. I guess I'm just a depressing person, and he stole this movie with some of his lines. He when you're introduced to him, he's floating down a stream, and he's like, I can't swim, but I don't care. I'll get where I'm going. And he's ready to, go wherever. And what I really like is the uh, the moments they sprinkle into Christopher Robin, because he is, even at the beginning, he's still cynical, and he's still been tore up by this world, and he's still very distant. But you see, before he fully embraces himself, you see flashes of that boy, like when he goes to save Eeyore, and he jumps in the river, and it's only ankle high, and he laughs. He says, "That's right, I'm not a kid anymore," and it's funny. Um, but you get little moments like that sprinkled in. Um, it's it's really, this movie isn't meant to win big awards. It's not meant to be a life-altering, life-changing movie. It's meant to be a fun, joyful movie that you just walk away from smiling, something you can take your family to see. And you know what, Christopher Robin, I had a hell of a lot of fun with this movie. I enjoyed it from start to finish, of course. Growing up with Winnie the Pooh, both books and cartoons, I have a connection to the movies. I have a connection to this movie, and so from the start, just seeing that brought up in live action, and they look, let me say, they all look amazing. Um, I think it was CGI. I don't know if they like had some props and then did CGI with. I'm not sure if it was fully CGI or what, but they looked good. Pooh had some amazing lines in there too. Pooh was like Pooh. I don't. He's a poet. I don't know. He's my favorite line in the movie is, of course, the one that they've used in all the promotional material, is where Pooh says, "People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day." That's such a joy. That's just such an endearing line, and I can relate to it. I can relate to it a lot. But yeah, Christopher Robin, not gonna be kicking off an award season, but it's definitely a fun, family-friendly, joyous movie that you can just go watch and have a lot of fun with. Um, it's I loved it. I really did. One of my favorites of the year. So if you guys get a chance to go see Christopher Robin, go see it. It's a good time at the theaters. Let me know what you thought of Christopher Robin down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.